So I just did like this amazing vlog, and turns out I didn't record. So I'm a little bit annoyed because I actually felt like I was I got it down. I was doing it right. So anyway, I'll try and do it again and do it as well. I think I spoke. When I did my previous video, I'd just been outside, and I was just saying how the weather was really, really nice today, and that I'd try and get out as much as possible, and that because suffering with social anxiety, it's very easy for me to stay indoors, not go and see people, and get comfortable in my own company to the extent where I'm almost institutionalized. I'm afraid to go outside. And for example, on sorry if I'm sniffing or sound a bit funny. I'm just getting over a cold as well. But so I said I was going to an NLP sort of lecture in London last week, and it was just such a great day. Although the day before I suffered from really bad anxiety. I don't sleep well when I suffer like that, and well, I don't have a very good day on Tuesday before I went, because I was just I can't even tell you what it is that I'm scared of. I used to be so shy when I was a child that I couldn't even buy anything from a shop, and it used to really bug me. So I used to make myself buy stuff. Like my friends one of my friends, she used to smoke when we were like 15, and so I used to offer to buy her cigarettes just because it would put me in a situation that scared me. And when you realise that you're not going to die, or or like something bad is going to happen to you, and you go out of your comfort zone and you survive it, it builds confidence. And I still go red when people talk to me. Like in the lecture, the guy who was the coach, he asked me a question, and I could have died because I just go so red and it's so embarrassing. So yeah, it was a really difficult experience, but a really rewarding one. I think the best thing about it was the people that I met, and I talked to this lady. She worked I think she worked for a shelter. Either way, she works with people that that domestic abuse victims. And when I was younger, my mum was with an alcoholic, and he used to beat her quite badly to the point where she'd end up in hospital. I remember when I was 8, I called 999 and just didn't know that I had to ask for the police. So this poor operator woman was having to deal with me going, my daddy's trying to kill my mummy, and she's like, do you want the police? I was like, oh yeah. Needless to say, the relationship didn't survive much after that, thank God. But I spoke to her about that, and I spoke to her about some of my anxiety issues, which I'll, stuff that I'll talk to you guys about, that people don't talk about. And I'm really open because I'm not ashamed of how I feel. I'm not ashamed of, the stuff that I've gone through. And I was quite open when I was at this seminar as well. And when you're open about yourself, people feel like they can talk to you about how they feel as well. And it always surprises me how many people suffer with emotional, I don't really want to say problems or issues, because I don't think they're problems or issues, but they struggle with their own emotions. And as somebody who suffers with anxiety, I daily have to realise that how I feel sometimes is the anxiety tricking me. It's not real, and separating the the reality from the real mind and the reality from my anxious mind is something that I try to learn and deal with every day. So I was speaking to her about all this stuff and my writing, and she wants me to go and speak to the women at her place of work. So initial reaction is, why me? I was like, I can do. I'm clearly, she thinks like I have something to offer, and isn't that why I'm doing this? So of course I said yes, but inside I was just, like, I still struggle with the sense of that, why not me? Why shouldn't I have something to give to people? I honestly can't imagine what these women must feel like. But I think what I can do is offer some sort of hope, maybe, that things get better. That I think the worst thing about emotional distress is the feeling that it will never end. I don't know about you guys, but I have days, I have sort of a few days where I'm really down and I really struggle with myself, because at the end of the day, that's our greatest enemy, isn't it? Really, our emotional state. And the worst thing is thinking, what if I never snap out of it? What if this is now how I'm going to be? Which is stupid, because you always do snap out of it, and you always, you carry on living a happy life. So, but it's hard sometimes to feel as though you won't. And I think women feel it a lot worse. I think it's partly to do with hormones as well. And I'll do a video about something that happened to me when I went and had the contraceptive implant. It wasn't a great experience, to say the least, but that's for another time. And so I've contacted this lady, and we'll see how it goes from there. And then during lunchtime, everyone's sort of chatting and eating their sandwiches and soup. Excuse me. And I just, my anxiety got the better of me, and I went and sat on my own and started writing, because I kind of hide a little bit behind it, I think. I couldn't just sit there and do nothing, because that would just look really awkward. So I was like looking really busy, and funny enough, I then got really busy. And the guy that was sitting in front of me walked past to get something from his bag and made a comment about me writing a thesis, and that started off that conversation. Because I'm not actually, when I was speaking to people and I told them about my anxiety, they were like, you don't seem anxious at all. I was like, well, inside I'm kind of dying. But it's not speaking to people I'm okay with, it's approaching people, and I'm just so terrified of what people think, which is just awful, because I think that's like the worst thing, is to worry about what other people think. But I really, really worry about it. And I kind of had to just tell myself, no one is looking at you. No one is, looking at you and thinking, oh my God, what's she doing? Or, oh my God, she's so awkward and she's so rude. And that I always worry people think I'm rude, because I just get really quiet, or I go and sit on my own. Anyway, this guy and I started chatting about anxiety and what I was wanting to do, and actually it made me realise that 50% of the journey isn't just doing what you want, it's finding out what it is you actually want to do. And I'm so lucky that I already have that I know that. But what I want everyone to know is that I didn't have a light bulb moment where I realised that this is what I wanted to do. This is my blog. This video is years in the making, really. I really envy and admire people who, like my sister, all her life she's known that she wants to be a doctor, and she's never deviated from that plan. And I've never had that. I've kind of bumbled about from job to job looking for that career that is mine, that I really want, and I've never had that until I'm doing this. Um, but realizing what I wanted to do wasn't easy. It wasn't something that I remember being really depressed for ages about not knowing what to do with my life. And there are some things that you can do that I did to help me figure it out. And I'm writing a book at the moment that will detail my journey, in not just now the bits that you're seeing, but the bits that got me here and that got me this far, because it might look like the beginning of my journey, but it's far from it. So I was sort of, this guy was saying how he just didn't know what he wanted to do, and yeah, I hadn't really considered that part of it as much as from now and until, hopefully I can do this as a living, to how did I get here in the first place, and how can I help people realise what it is that they actually want. Because I think people always say, oh, I want a promotion, but they don't think about why. Is it, do you want more money? Do you think you'll be more fulfilled in that role? Or is it just something that you think you want because it's another step up from where you are now? People are so desperate to move forward all the time, and which is good. You should always, even if it's like baby steps, even if it's a wrong decision, I think as long as you're moving, and it doesn't even have to be forward, it can be to the side, even backwards, to then move forwards again. But don't stand still, because that's when you stop experiencing things, and that's when you stop feeling like you can achieve something more or something else or something different. So yeah, I think it's just really important that people know that this isn't something I've always wanted to do, or people realise that this isn't something I always knew I wanted to do. It's just that now I'm getting the opportunity to do it, and I can honestly say as well that previously it wouldn't have been the right time. Even though I knew I wanted to write 2 years ago, it wasn't the right time. So it's all about being in the right place at the right time, but also taking that opportunity when it comes along, not letting it pass you by. But don't be scared. Like, if you're too afraid or you're not ready to take that opportunity, then it's okay. It will if it's meant to be, it will come round again. And I truly do believe that. Part of me sometimes thinks that maybe it was the right time 2 years ago, but there was no way else I was ready. So maybe it wasn't the right time, even though the opportunity presented itself, I wasn't ready, and that's okay. You don't have to do everything all at once, but just have faith in that things do turn out okay, and if they haven't, then it's not the end. So anyway, I'll wrap this up now, and thanks for watching as always, and I'll speak to you soon.